Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Monster Taming news update. Now, today we're going to be going over the dev blog that was recently released by the Laxadays devs, and the reason I didn't fully cover this in Monster Tamer news is because if you look at it, it's quite long. So I definitely think that this warrants its own video because it's extremely interesting. Now, if you're kind of lost or don't know what this game is, Laxadays is a monster taming RPG that's inspired by Persona. It's going to have real-time combat. It's almost got that sort of like cyberpunk vibe. Anyway, long story short, I made a video going over it. Check out the video linked in the description. And yeah, let's just jump right in. If you're up to date, let's start it out. So Q&A about Laxadays. Hi everyone, welcome to our second dev blog. We've recently asked our followers on social media to send us any questions they may have on Laxadays, and we've selected some of them to answer for you all today. How many types will there be? And Nanims or Nanims, I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that. That's the monster. So, you know, in Pokemon they're called Pokemon, and Koromon they're called Koromon. Here they're called Nanims, I'm just gonna call them Nanims. I don't know if it's Nanims or Nanims. I don't know. Anyways, there will be 6 basic types and 6 special types. The special types themselves are an evolution of the basic types. For instance, water is a basic type and ice is a special type. Nanims will have 1 or 2 types with no restrictions on cross types. For instance, flame and ice can happen. Here's a list of all the types followed by the special types. So you got electric, and that evolves into voltaic. You got water, and then ice, air, and then sound, which is really interesting. Earth, and then alloy. So I'm assuming alloy is like a metal or a steel type. And then flame, and then I like this one, radiation. I'm very curious if that's going to sort of act like a poison type. And then you got nano, which is essentially just normal, and then light. So very interesting. There will be, will there be shinies? If so, what will the name of that be? Yes, there will be color variations for nanims that have a varying rarity. Okay, so there's going to be more than one type of shiny, sort of like Koromon. See how they say there will be color variations, which could just mean that there's one, and then it's going to have they could just be talking about the one variation, and then saying like multiple or a plural because they're talking about multiple monsters, but I don't think that's the case because they say varying rarity. So it makes you think that there's going to be like, let's say, you know, shiny tier 1 would be like a 1 in 2,000 chance, shiny tier 2 would be like a 1 in 4,000 chance, etc. That's what it seems here. Reminds me of the Koromon system. The name of that class of Nanims will be called Chromatic Nanims, aka Chromas for short. How open will the world be? The world will be split into various maps. Some are small and detailed, while some are large and open. We're heavily inspired by how BioWare crafts their world, so I'm assuming they're referring specifically to, oh my god, what's that BioWare game called? I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, yeah, BioWare. What do you feel makes the game the most unique? What we feel is most unique about Laxadays is that it's a monster taming RPG with real-time combat that has you fight alongside your monsters instead of having them fight for you. We also feel that our art direction and aesthetics are unique to the monster taming genre, as we are bringing a cyberpunksy / cassette future vibe, which I really like. Do you have a roadmap for the development of the game and its release? We're still very early in development. Our main focus is our Kickstarter, as we are currently completely self-funded. We aim to launch a Kickstarter early next year. That's a good idea. Hold off for now because there's a million Kickstarters in a row, and that could actually end up hurting your guys' ability to get anything. Because, okay, in terms of just monster taming alone, we just had the Chain Monsters one, then the Anatons one, then the Final Stardust one is coming. So it's good if you guys wait a little bit because people need to sort of refund or reinvigorate their wallets, and it's better that there's a little time in between because otherwise people might have to make sacrifices to which games they're gonna sort of end up backing. Our Kickstarter will contain a roadmap for future development phases as well as any releases. Cool. What kind of combat will Laxadays have? Laxadays will feature real-time combat, third-person ability based. Weapons in this game will have their each own respective abilities and movesets and can either be used for ranged or melee. Players will have a basic attack that charges their ability meter, nanometer, and the players will use these charges to perform various abilities. In addition to real-time combat, the game will also feature a tactical mode similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake. This allows the players to slow things down and think through their strategy in the middle of combat. Cool. This player will also have a summoning meter that fills continuously through battles. Nanims can be summoned using this meter, with stronger Nanims costing more. Once summoned, Nanims will battle alongside the player, and if the player has raised their respective Nanims friend link enough, they'll be able to control them directly in-game. We'll release more info on the combat system of Laxidase when we do our combat reveal in the coming weeks. I'm definitely excited for that. Will you be able to ride the Nanims? Yes, you will be able to ride various Nanims on the water, ground, and in the air. And the gameplay video we did go over in the Monster Tamer Showcase featuring Laxidase, so I'm not gonna focus on that here. Will there be Nanim breeding in the game? We would love to include a breeding mechanic, and it is planned. Okay. Oh, it's planned as a stretch goal. Okay. What kind of music will Laxidase have? Laxidase's soundtrack will be composed of the very talented Zach Buckley. The soundtrack will contain a mix of acid jazz, lo-fi hip hop. Sorry, I'm not with the times. Lo-fi, I'm not sure, and other various musical genres. We are very inspired by the Persona series in this regard. What platforms are you aiming to release Laxidase on? Since we have very limited funding, our main focus at this time is PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. Releases will be stretch goals, so that makes sense. So PC for sure, and then the other ones as stretch goals. Will you be able to... Oh, and one thing with regards to Kickstarter I've noticed is a lot of people, if the game's only coming to PC, and they really want it on a console, they wait until the second that stretch goals hit, and then there's a second spike of backing. Like when Kindred Fates hit that Nintendo Switch goal, it just went crazy. So I think keeping that stretch goal as low as humanly possible would end up benefiting the game heavily in terms of its Kickstarter campaign. Anyways, will you be able to evolve the Nanims? Yes, Nanims have the ability to evolve into more powerful Nanims, either by leveling up using certain items, raising friendship links, or other various methods depending on that specific Nanim. Some Nanims will have a single evolution path, while others will have branching paths. Cool. Will there be any sort of character customization? Yes, the player will be able to choose between a female or male character at the start. In terms of equipment, since the main character is a hunter / bounty hunter in Cascadia, they will have the choice of various outfits that are tied to the hunter class. Hunter outfits are separated into classes that each have their own playstyle. The same goes for weapons. Weapons and outfits of the same class will generally work better together. There are 6 classes that Hunters of Cascadia will fit into, and they're as follows. Protein, the jack of all trades of classes. The benefit of this class is that it can specialize in any of the other classes. This is the main player's class. Beastmaster, this class specializes in befriending and battling with Nanims. Engineer, this class specializes in technical abilities such as tech-focused weapons. Nanomancer, this is a mage class. The class is focused on dealing elemental damage and excels at large area of effect attacks. Panzer, this is the tank class. A Panzer class hunter will have more defense-focused attributes whilst being able to deal massive damage. And Phantom, this class of hunters will have stealth and high single target damage at its disposal. This is an assassin class of hunter. Cool. This is really cool. Like this is getting a little crazy. Once this game gets a trailer out there and stuff like that, this thing's gonna explode in popularity. Like I can already see it. This is gonna end up hitting like that sort of Kindred Fates level of notoriety when it first like when people start to sort of hone in on it. This is definitely a hidden gem, that's for sure. How many Nanims will there be in the game, and will there be any legendaries? We're focusing on making our Nanims highly detailed and interactable, so expect about 30. I think that's very fair. You have to consider the Nanims sort of act like companion monsters. So think about a game like Far Cry Primal, I guess is one example, but even that game's very simplistic in its monster taming aspects. Just think about any game where you can have like a companion monster fight beside you. Breath of the Wild has a Wolf Link amiibo, sort of like that, right? I'm sure, and they also said you're going to be able to control them, so it's going to be more in-depth than that as well. But I think 30 makes sense. There doesn't have to be a million of them in the game. It's quality over quantity. I always say that. There will also be a few legendary Nanims planned for the base game. We intend to include adding more as stretch goals for our upcoming Kickstarter. Will there be any multiplayer? We intend to include Nanum trading in the base game, but we'll have other multiplayer features and stretch goals in our Kickstarter, starting with co-op battles and dungeons and moving to PvP and arenas and battles. It makes sense. Trading something that's a lot easier to implement than real-time combat, because that requires like servers and everything else. I know trading does, but I don't think the capacity is nearly the same in that regard. Thank you for reading our second blog post, and to everyone who submitted questions. We hope you enjoyed learning more about Laxadays. If you want to do more Q&A in the future, let us know. You can contact us through this page, blah, blah, blah. Check out our Discord, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you can definitely check out their Discord. I'll leave it linked in the description. Yeah, I guess the main takeaway here is that this is going to be a very unique game. It's not... Monster Taming games always get this rap of being Pokemon clones. This isn't like Pokemon at all. Like... First of all, the monsters are more like companions. You fight alongside them. Even the types are very interesting. Electric evolving into Voltaic, air evolving into sound. Like, they have a ton of interesting mechanics here. I think this is going to end up being one of those big games. I can already feel it. So what do you guys think about this game? What do you think about what you've seen here? Is it something that intrigues you? I've personally never played the Persona series, so this is sort of new to me as well. So this might end up being a gateway into playing those games as well. So there you go. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy the video, as always, make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things monster taming. You can also follow me on Twitter, check out my Patreon and Discord, all links in the description. Until next time, peace.